Hello and welcome here to Fuji International Speedway for race 2 of the final round of the Rei Sportscar Championship, and this is actually throwback week, so all of the liveries that we see here today are throwbacks to sort of retro themed motorsport liveries from F1, Super GT, it could be some sort of DTM, IndyCar, something like that. And in pole position we've got Pix Tech, the Mexican driver, in a Jaguar themed livery. In second place we've got Charlie Fraser, we'll look at his livery later on during the race, and then we've got Tyler, Cyberstrike, fifth place is Alex Sinclair, sixth is Samios, seventh is Scanny Flick, 8th is Mr. Mako, and 9th, rounding out the field, is Sig Rezanico after winning race 1. So this is a 30 lap race, so that's approximately 45 minutes. We are using the Fuji layout with the tight chicane, and all drivers must use both the soft and medium compound tyres. And speaking of those tyres, Pixteca leading from the front is on soft tyres as we approach turn 1. Charlie Fraser, who slots in behind, also on the soft tyres. So these drivers near the front are pretty much going to hopefully try and get some clean air near the front and pull away from the medium runners. So Charlie Fraser there is in a BAR Honda themed livery. Meanwhile, in third place, also on softs, is the Lola themed MasterCard of Tyler. Pix getting a little bit wide there at turn 3. We've then got Cyberstrike in softs in fourth place, and that's actually Pixtech having to defend from Charlie, so we'll look into the tight left turn. Pixtech are missing the apex quite a bit, and that might give Tyler and Charlie the chance that they've needed. All three of these on soft tyres, so all three being very, very aggressive because it is crucial. And that Charlie going around the outside, I think, can he make it stick? He can't. There's a slight contact with Tyler, no harm done, no one at fault, and they slot back into position. In fifth place, also on softs, is Samios in the Datsun livery, and he's just got past Alex Sinclair. Let's see what happened there, because I think Alex has lost out. And in this contact, Sammy almost spinning the fantastic livery that Alex had created. Alex falls down to 7th behind Scanny, and then falls behind further, getting a little bit loose, and that allows Mako past, and Sig Rezanico, yep. So we've got some fantastic liveries there, as you can see. So not a good start there for Alex. He's on medium tyres, but at the front we're going to have to cut away there from a battle for 7th with Mako and Sig, because it seems like we might have a move further up front here between 1st, 2nd and 3rd place. Now there is absolutely no ballast here today. It's a ballast free round, 25 points on offer to the winner, and that's Pix going very, very deep, and that Charlie now on the inside getting very loose. Tyler 3rd, no moves there, but further back you can see that Sig had made the move on Mako, but Mako getting good run through the turn, a little bit of contact. Let's just catch that on the replay. So you can see here Mako's gone to the inside to defend, and there's superb camera angle there as Sig just on the outside of Mako. Sig breaks a bit later, but Mako holds around the inside, doesn't give much room on the exit. I'm not sure Sig will be too happy with that. Sig dropping down to 9th place. We've got Samios, who has just moved into 4th there ahead of Cyber. Good move from the American. So we've got the top 5 are all on soft tyres. Oh, and we've got a move for the lead. Charlie now looking down the inside for the hairpin. He was on the outside last time, and that's Pixteca sort of braking and sort of turning a little bit towards the apex, and now this might give an opportunity to Tyler. So Pix dropping down to 3rd. Charlie, I think, made a very good braking manoeuvre there. Cyber's actually now re-overtaken Sammy, so Sammy there going onto the grass, similar to Pixteca did. Good move there from Nick being Cyberstrike. They're still side by side as we go through these twisty S's here at Fuji. Probably not as good as the very fast right turn we just had as Scanny, and Scanny made contact with Sammy. We've got to watch this on the replay because so much has been happening. It's only lap 2 and I just cannot keep up. Let's go on board here with the Brit. He's on medium tyres and I think all of the runners at the back also. Sammy just trying to get the cut back. Bit unfortunate. But what that did was allow Mako to go around the outside and then back into the inside for the final turn. Alex there also doing something similar. And I think that might have possibly scared Sammy away. Signa looking very, very racy here. We got Sammy moving a lot. Sig finally goes to the outside, just Sammy on the inside. But no, Sammy's back on the outside. And that's Alex making a big, big lunge on Scanny Flick, and I think it's actually worked there for the number 22. And we got an overtake for the lead, almost. I think Tyler there was on the outside of Charlie going into turn 3, but Charlie defending on the inside very well. Now, on the soft tyres, you probably don't want to be wasting your potential too much. So if they were sensible, they might just try and follow each other and then make a move later on in the race, rather than allowing the medium runners to stay with them. It's probably a one-stop race. Two-stop is possible, but I believe that the soft tyres around here last quite a long time. So Sig, still yet to make progress. He had moved up to 7th, but was ended up on the exit of turn 1 on the AstroTurf. Scaniflick not having as good of a race so far as he has occasionally had in this series. He's had some very good results, like at Catalunya and one of the races at Kyoto Driving Park. But here he's actually in danger of falling down to 8th place because Sammy, who is on soft tyres, goes to the inside here as on this incredibly long main straight. And sorry, we're just going to go towards the lead because we've got Pix Tecker, Charlie and Tyler racing turn 1. Pix has actually been making some good ground on these leaders while they fight. So some good laps here from Pix Tecker. We'll go on board with... so Mako's also got past Cyberstrike, sorry for missing that. There really is too much action. These drivers are giving me a lot of hard work to do. Tyler a little bit more clean through that corner, and you can see that he is actually approaching the Honda at a rate of knots. We've got 2 F1 themed liveries here at the front, but different areas, and that's Pix hitting Tyler. Tyler hit Charlie. Tyler was being very, very cautious, and I think that caught Pix out. So Pix drops down to 4th. Mako, who started near the back, is now up to 3rd place. And meanwhile, Scaniflick has dropped down to 9th. So just seems like a good move in the hairpin from Sigros and Nico. So Charlie Fraser 4th. He'll be hoping that he can kind of maintain this lead rather than falling back into the clutches of Tyler and Mako. Mako is the leading medium runner so far. Not sure exactly how long the mediums will last, but we might start to see pit stops around lap 13 for the soft tyres. Maybe longer if people have incredibly good conservation. There is also fuel in this race, although it won't be too much of a factor. Not as much as at Red Bull Ring and at Catalunya. So Alex Sinclair, the first driver to pit, he was a medium, so who knows what he's doing here. Is he doing a 2-stop, or is he actually going to attempt to do the entire rest of the race on soft tyres? But we'll see what tyres he comes out on. We got the fuel crew adding a little bit of fuel, I think. Yeah, so Alex has filled up the entire wave on soft tyres, so he's actually attempting a massive undercut here on sort of all of these cars. We've got some good racing here between Pixecker and Cyber. Meanwhile, Sammy here in 6th place after his move on Scanny. He's trying to regain some ground after the contact on about lap 2. We've got the Italian there waiting in the wings, almost hitting the back of the Nissan GTR. And you can see so far that Samios actually has the fastest lap of the race on those soft compound tyres. let's go on board here with the GTR. Will he be able to catch up Cyberstrike at all? Does seem as if the Lexus there driven by the car ahead has been quite good on straight lines so far this season. And you can see here that even with some slipstream, Cyberstrike pulling away due to Cyberstrike slipstream, but Sammy still makes a dive, and is that is... I think that's worked, honestly. I think that is actually a very clean move. Sammy made the apex, didn't feel like too much of a dive bomb. That's a fantastic move there from the number 69. And then for 6th place we got Signa going around the outside of Cyber, who got a little bit loose through, I think, Coca-Cola corner. I might be mistaken there. Oh, but oh, that was so close there to hitting the driver who just overtook him. Meanwhile, further up front, Pixtech is holding his ground very well in his Jaguar themed car, and Cyberstrike holding his own well against Sig. So Pix and Cyber, they haven't had the best of fortune in the Rei Sportscar Championship, but both are having very, very good races so far. Very impressive to see. As we go up front, these top two are actually making a little bit of a gap to the Hungarian in third, Mako. Mako wants to try and stay with these because he's on medium compound, and then that makes his job a little bit easier when the tyres switch and that's car off. Is that Sammy? It is Sammy. It was all going so well, but it's been spun on the exit of the turn. We'll see if that gets investigated later on in the race. But that's allowed Sigras and Nico to come up to 5th place. Cyberstrike is fighting back though to go towards turn 1 here on lap 7 of the 30 lap race. But no, Sig holds his own. Good move there from Sigras and Nico, who has actually won the series here. He's a 3-time champion. And this is our first league on Gran Turismo Sport, and he's won the first series on Gran Turismo Sport. He's had quite a few race wins, and even when he hasn't had race wins, he usually got podiums. That was until there was ballast or Honda problems letting him down. We've now got Sig, who's just overtaken Pixtech. Oh, so Pixtech actually gone wide. That's what's happened, and there you just can't get on the accelerator as quick as he would have wanted. So an easy move there for Sig. Got this great dynamic shot as they go sort of up the hill here through Sector 3. The opening round of this season was also at Fuji International Speedway, but we did not use that chicane. Sorry, the second round of this series was at Fuji. The opening round was at Suzuka, both races of which were won by Sigras and Nico. If we just go to the back of the field for Alex Sinclair, we're just catching what sort of lap times he's running. So his first proper lap was a 31.6 out of the pits, and that might be improved upon soon. We'll check that later. But if he can continue with this pace, he might find himself ahead of drivers such as Pix, Cyber, might even be able to get ahead of Sig. However, Sig will be on the soft tyres later on, and they'll be less worn. The fastest lap of the race so far is by our race leader, Charlie Fraser, 31.112. And our closest battle on track is between Sammy and Scanny. Now I think that Sammy's just overtaken Scanny. That might be incorrect though, because I think Scanny had fallen off the pack a little bit. Oh, and we've got to catch a replay of that. Was there contact? So Cyberstrike... No, Pix had just gone off on his own, I think. And then Cyberstrike just followed suit. They're just trying to replicate each other so much. So that's the second lap in a row that Pix has made that mistake, and this has given an opportunity to Sammy Oss on the inside, and is around the outside of Cyber. Oh no, forced off the track, I think. So bit of bad blood between these two so far. We'll see how their race progresses, both of which are on soft tyres, so they were very much racing for proper position. And that's actually Sammy slightly off the track again as Scani got by into the tight left turn. And this sort of battling is what really is helping the Irish driver of Alex Sinclair, but his previous lap wasn't as good as I might have expected. It's a 32.1, that is actually slower than the leader's pace, I think. Yeah, it is. You can see that the leaders here, both doing 31s. Yeah, low 31s actually. That's really good stuff. Fastest lap though is now by the medium compound runner of Sig Nico, but we've got a lot of battles here. We've got Sammy here having to slot in behind Scani, and then just here in the foreground is Pixtecker and Cyberstrike. And Sammy getting by Scani yet again, and it's only been the first 9 laps of this race. Sammy's had a couple of incidents that has sent him down the order, and each time he's been getting past Scani Flick. For the lead, it has actually closed up. So Charlie's pace is slowing down a little bit, and Tyler has been incredibly consistent here in the MasterCard Lola livery. Certainly being a little bit more successful for Tyler than it was for the 1997 F1 team. We've then got Mako, who's having a little bit of a quiet time on medium tyres, followed by Sig, who is on a similar strategy so far. We've then got Pix, Cyber and Sammy all on soft. And then we've got Scani Flick in 8th and Alex, who is the sole pit stop runner so far. Oh, bit of a loose exit from turn 1 there from Charlie. Meanwhile, Pixtecker, who was running in the midfield, making his first pit stop of the day. We'll see what tyres he comes out on later. We'll also see how much fuel he has. If we just compare the fuel levels of our 2 race leaders, so Charlie Flazer has used about 55 litres, Tyler about the same, maybe slightly less. And if we actually just go to Pixtecker, we'll see that he, I think, has refueled very slightly, but not as much as Alex Sinclair did earlier on in the race. Alex Sinclair has the most fuel of anybody so far, but is a good sort of 12-15 seconds ahead of Pixtecker. And I think Tyler's made a very slight error, because that gap has increased just a little bit. Meanwhile, further back, and somehow, yet again, Sammy's ended up behind Scani. I don't know if I can catch this easily. So it's just in turn 1, Scani betting by Sammy Oss. I wish we had a few more usernames which rhymed with each other, because all we've got so far, I think, is Scani and Sammy. I guess I could have Mako and Rezo Nico, who are now incredibly close on this main straight. Sig on the outside, Mako on the inside, both of which in Hondas. This really is the battle of the Hondas. These are 2 race winners this season. Mako won at Tokyo Expressway. I think Sig's going to make a good overtake here in turn 3. Oh, Mako almost closed in on Sig, but gave exactly 1 Honda's width. But Sig's actually left the door open here through turn 4, and I think they've gone side by side through 100R. Mac on the outside, Sig on the inside, and that might be that battle over for now. But we'll go on board with Mako because he is looking feisty. He does not want to give this up. Oh, down the inside, if that works, that's amazing. Sorry, there we go, and that is unbelievable stuff. Great dive down the inside, similar to what we saw earlier with Sammy Oss. Very limited contact. And this is a crucial battle for both. because both are on the same compound, but that mistake might give Sig the opportunity to make another move into turn 1. Sig sets up well through the final corner, no! It was all going so well for Mako. He'd made one of the greatest moves of the season, I think. But that's 5 seconds lost, and the position lost to Sigres and Eco. Will that cost Mako the win as we approach lap 30? We shall see. Semios making his 10th move of the day here, just on Scani Flip alone, I think. Got the battle of the Nissan GTRs, we just had the battle of the Hondas. Sammy here on the inside of Scani this time, both in red, white and blue retro theme liveries. But all of this battling is helping the driver in 8th place, Alex Sinclair, who's now starting to set some 31s. Had a couple of poor laps just after his pit stop, but now been quite consistent and has actually got a purple Sector 1. Things are quieted down a little bit here for the Lexus driver service rake. But wouldn't be surprised if Samios is able to catch up soon and maybe get payback for the incident. Not in a revenge way, but just more in terms of a overtake way. Up front, the battle for the lead has subdued. We got a fantastic lap just done by Charlie Fraser of 31.0. His softs are holding on superbly. So actually, we could see people using softs for over 20 laps. Maybe even 26 if Alex Sinclair is to be believed. So definitely not a 2-stop race. And then got Tyler, Sigros and Eco, and then Mako after his spin. So just running through some of the drivers currently at the back of the field. Although Alex and Pixtech are here in 8th and 9th are the only drivers to have pitted so far, so that's their reasoning for being near the back. Pixtech probably didn't use the soft tyres as long as he could have. Tyre wear seemingly is very, very low here in these warm conditions, which is potentially surprising. So a good lap just set there by Cyber, 32.5, meanwhile Scani is pitted on lap 14, so he's probably going to do 16 laps on the soft compound. He will have to refuel quite a bit though. He has used a lot more fuel, I think, than many other drivers. Well, certainly more than Cyberstrike, but I think it's actually about the same amount of fuel as Samios here in 6th place. It does seem though that maximising the softs as much as possible for over 20 laps and then using the mediums for as few laps as you can seems to be the good strategy. Well, here are the two rivals here for today's race. Earlier, Sammy got spun around and then also fought onto the grass. He will very much look for redemption with a good, clean overtake. Is this the chance? Oh no. I think that maybe Cyber just braked a little bit early. But I think Cyber's actually been spun out. Let's actually catch this on replay. Oh, and yeah, just I think Cyber's braking just caught out Sammy. It was only 5 or 10 meters less than expected. I really don't think you can actually blame that too heavily on either driver though. Unfortunate for Cyber. Meanwhile, we have had an overtake here for second place, so the gap between Tyler and Charlie increased heavily, and I think Tyler had a really poor lap because Sig closed him heavily. And here into turn 1, brakes a little bit later than the American, and into turn 2 and 3, Sig is in second place. Meanwhile, the runner in third place, Mako, he has now gone from medium to soft tyres. He has used a lot of fuel though, so he's going to have to spend a lot of time in the pits refueling. It'll be interesting to see where he comes out relative to Alex Sinclair. Well, Alex Sinclair is miles ahead of Mako, so Alex's undercut has worked wonders for him. And this is actually Mako down in 7th place, just ahead of Pixteca. Meanwhile, Scanny Flick has rejoined in 9th place. He's now on soft tyres though. So disappointing stuff so far for Scanny, but might be able to make ground now on the soft compound. In terms of the race win currently, I'd say it's between Charlie and Sig. Sig has been on the medium tyres and will be using the soft compound soon. Meanwhile, Charlie has just finished his soft stint and will go on to the medium soon, so Sig will probably be about 2, maybe 2.5 seconds quicker once he's gone on the soft tyres, and that's Alex on the inside of Cyberstrike. Oh, and I think Cyber might actually be trying to get into the pit lane. It does look as if he's trying to approach the right hand side. No, I think... Okay, no, he's just trying to get right back into the slipstream as we race down into turn 1. Cyber's yet to pit, but is really trying to use these soft tyres a while. They're still side by side, I think, so Alex Sinclair's had a lot of side by side action in the recent races. He was side by side with Bradders V for about a lap and a half, I think it seemed. And Cyber might have to admit defeat now, but Alex a little bit slow, defends into the left turn, and oh, big contact. I don't know if there's a gap there, but Cyber's one who loses out. Alex makes his way into 4th place. Now, if we go a little bit further back, so Charlie Fraser, who just made his pit stop, he has refueled heavily and is behind Alex Sinclair, so doesn't seem as if many drivers have been saving fuel, and that could cost them because they've fallen further back than I think they would have wanted. Alex Sinclair, though, might have to make another pit stop because I don't think he's been saving fuel either. He will probably do a 2-stop strategy. Now our 2 drivers in 1st and 2nd are now pitting. We might see pit stops further back. We've got Samios in 3rd. He can still go a couple of laps so if he wants. Yeah, he certainly has the fuel for it, so that's been good fuel saving from Sammy. His softs are still in good condition. Where do the top 2 come out in regards to Alex Sinclair though? Alex Sinclair, the front runner of drivers who pitted. Charlie Fraser, I think, is the front runner of people on a 1-stop, and I think Charlie has just rejoined behind Sig Rezanico, and that could be the sort of overtake for the win essentially in the pit lane. Sig didn't refuel as much as Charlie. Maybe that means that Sig has to save a little bit of fuel in these remaining 13 laps, or maybe it means that Charlie's overfueled. But that means that Sig doesn't actually have to overtake Charlie on track. Further back, Tyler has found himself in the gap between Charlie and Mako. He refueled quite heavily as well. Mako pitted earlier on and might be attempting to do the rest of the race on soft tyres. And then we've got Scaniflick and Pixteca, who I've recently been racing because Scaniflick's moved his way into 8th place on those soft tyres, so that's good work from him, but I don't feel like we would be able to catch that on a replay easily. Our race leader Samios might be picking this lap because his fuel indicator is flashing bright red. He does enter the pit, so he'll be on mediums for the remaining part of the race. Alex Sinclair in 2nd place. We'll have to pit probably in the next 4 or 5 laps and then do another sort of quick stint on softs. But I don't think that this is the best strategy because he seems to have underestimated how long these softs can last. Cyberstrike yet to pit, but is really making those softs and his fuel last a while. Sig Reznik in 4th, Sig Reznik in 3rd, then Charlie Fraser in 4th place. And if we go near the back, we can see that Samios is rejoining in 7th place, but he's in the battle for 7th with his compatriot. That's a joke. But it's his familiar rival Scaniflick making the move on the outside, so it's a good move there. But Sammy is now on the slower tyres, so it's going to be harder work here for the American than it was in the opening stint. It's still pretty close though. Even after 28 minutes of racing, we've got most drivers within a sector. And with our 2 race leaders still likely to pit, well, Cyberstrike definitely has to pit. That gap is, the gap between the total field is going to decrease pretty soon. Cyberstrike has definitely been fuel saving a bit, possibly by using a higher fuel mix, in that the higher the number, the more fuel you save, or he might have been short shifting at times. Further back, we can see that the gap between Sammy and Scani is increasing as I predicted. But can Scani make any more progress from 7th? There is a big gap to Mako. You can see Mako here is going through turn 1, meanwhile Scaniflick just crossing the start-finish line. So that's a good 10 seconds that Mako has on him. With Mako on soft tyres, we've got Tyler in 5th on mediums just ahead. It's going to be hard work for Scani to gain in ground. He could possibly gain positions of Alex and Cyber though. For 2nd place, speaking of Cyberstrike, ooh, and that's Sig having to dart out of the way. So Sig on soft tyres, really pushing, got a fastest lap of 30.2, and the speed differences between the two very clear there, with Cyber on very worn softs, at least compared to other drivers in this race. Oh, Cyber's off the track again. Well, I say again, that's not true. Well, now I can say true. Off the track again. But he's entering the pit lane. Sig being a little bit cheeky and getting a little bit of slipstream, but that is what you would do as a racer. You maximise your pace as much as you can. So Alex is in the lead. Sig is in 2nd place, but with enough fuel to the end. Charlie in 3rd on the podium, so it's a good result so far. And then we've actually got a pretty close gap here between Tyler and Mako. Mako being on the softs, Tyler on medium, so maybe in a few laps time we'll see Mako fighting for 4th, and then if Alex has to pit for fuel, that'll be the battle for 3rd place. And let's see, we've got Pixteca in the pits, but we've now got Sammy and Cyberstrike fighting, so these two yet again together, but Sammy making the move similarly to how Scani overtook Sammy just a couple of laps ago. Pixteca for the final 10 laps might go onto soft tyres, I'd assume so. Hopefully, for his sake, he will not refuel fully. If he refuels to 64 litres, that will definitely be enough to the end of the race. That's about the same amount of fuel as Sig Reznika has. We've got some wild action here. Mako's rear all over the place, as is his car. And our race leader does not have enough fuel to the end. He has to refuel similarly to Pixtecker. So that's the lead inherited for Sigurds and Nico, but we're side by side here on the main straight again, Mako and Tyler. Tyler on the outside, Mako using the grunt of the Honda to try and pull away, but the Lexus has been favourable on long straight so far this season. Tries to brake later on the outside, but can't brake late enough, and the warm brakes that you can see glowing in Mako proving good for him. He moves up into what is now third place. Tyler is in fourth, and Alex Sinclair rejoins in fifth on fresh softs, so maybe Tyler will struggle to keep fourth as the race progresses. And then in sixth place we've got Scanny, who might be able to follow through with Alex Sinclair. Cyberstrike in seventh. What's happened to Sammy? I've got to catch this action. This is some good stuff between these two. They've been racing so much. So Sammy's missed the apex by a country mile. Cyber's got a great run out of the corner, and if we go on board with the Brit, we'll see that using that Lexus power, he will attempt to race for turn 1. 174, 175, 180 miles per hour. Oh, Sammy making a move. Cyber on the outside. Oh, there's contact. So just a little bit of contact, and that sent Sammy off the track. So it hasn't been too clean. I'm not sure who to blame for that, if anybody. Could maybe be a racing incident, as it was such minor contact, but maybe the stewards will have something to say about that. Oh, and we've actually now got a battle for third, because Charlie Fraser's possibly made a mistake. And that's Mako into second on contact there. Charlie almost forced further onto the AstroTurf. I think, let's see if he did make a mistake, and he has made a mistake in the left turn. Go really, really wide. And all that did was get dirt on his tyres, and might have made another mistake on the hairpin with those dirty tyres. Yeah, braked a bit too late, and that's missed the apex a lot, and now if we go on board with Mako, we'll see how much he approaches. But as we cut back to more recent action, so Mako into second after Charlie making a few mistakes, and oh, he's now pitting? I did not expect that. So Alex is going to move into fourth place. I thought Charlie Fraser was going to go the rest of the way, but he's going to quickly go on to soft, so maybe he just really was not liking those mediums. It didn't look like he was anyway. He rejoins down in sixth place, but it might be seventh soon as Cyberstrike comes down into turn 1, but no, we can see that Charlie ahead by a couple of seconds on soft tyres. He's now going to be chasing Scanny Flick up, whose tyres are a little bit worn, but I don't think they're worn enough for Charlie to make any ground. Oh, and we've got Samios making a mistake at the exit of turn 1. So after falling behind, Cyberstrike has just ran on that curb onto that AstroTurf, and that just is killer. Just trying to find some of the closest battle on track. We've still got Mako and Tyler, so if Mako makes a mistake, Tyler is there to reap the rewards. Certainly still trying to apply the pressure. Sig on soft tyres, they're still pretty good. They're really barely worn at all, even though he's been on them for about 7 laps. His fastest lap of the race is 29.5. Alex Sinclair on his 2-stock strategy, quite unorthodox. He's been in 4th place. His pace has been pretty good. He had a lot of 31 second laps, well 1 minute 31 second laps. And while he was in clean air, he leapfrogged many drivers. Things are reasonably calm here at Fuji Speedway. Seems like a lot of the action there was just on lap 1 and lap 2, if you remember how crazy that was. We had Pixteca in first place, starting on pole with a reverse grid from the previous race result. And then in second place, there was Charlie Fraser. But Charlie Fraser, who is on a 2-stop strategy now, fell down to 6th. Pixteca's fell down to 9th place. Meanwhile, Sig and Mako, who had good results previously, have moved their way back up. Tyler is on course for a fantastic 3rd place here, but Alex on soft tyres might be able to spoil his pie. Our race leader is hot lapping right now. He's at a 29.4, beating his previous fastest lap of a 29.5. He's using all the track he can to trounce the opposition. Previous races he's had very excessive ballast and he's struggled to even get top 5s, but here with a ballast-free race we can see the true power of Sig Rezanico. Next season will be starting in April and will feature a lot of fantastic real-world tracks. It's going to be in the same cars. These 2016 Group 2 cars, no 2008 cars allowed, am I right, Sig? And it's going to be a great season. Now if we skip ahead a little while to lap 26, we can see here that Alex Sinclair is closing up to Tyler a little bit. So Alex has been setting 30s and a 31.0. Meanwhile Tyler is on 32s, so there's at least 1.5 seconds between the two on lap time, and Alex is about, what, 3 seconds behind? So we have got a battle for the podium on our hands here as we approach the final 4 laps of this race. If we compare the fuel situation, Alex has a lot of fuel, so possibly excessively overfilled earlier on, but Tyler's got quite a lot of fuel as well. Mako seems to have Sig, I think, has the least amount of fuel, so his strategy calculations have been, I assume, on point today. Seems to have shorter pit stops than other people, because I think he saved a little bit of fuel in the first stint compared to the likes of Mako, who was on a similar strategy. So yeah, Charlie has a lot of fuel. Cyber, actually, his mathematical calculations are pretty similar to Sig. And then we got Pixteca and Sammy, well, Sammy who's added a lot of fuel. That's going to be a heavier car than most right now. But the closest battle on track here is between Tyler and Alex Sinclair. So as we go through Coca-Cola, we go for 100R. Alex Sinclair should be able to make the move. He is on soft tyres, but Tyler has been showing some excellent driving prowess in this season. So if he can show more of that, he might be able to defend here. He goes to the outside, and Alex actually goes to the inside here as we go towards the hairpin, and Alex makes that look easy unless he's outbraked himself. No, that is perfectly stopped. So we've got Sig, Mako and Alex now occupying the podium places. Tyler might be disappointed to drop out there after being in the front for so long and not making any major mistakes. Missed a few apexes here and hit there, fell back from Charlie at one point. But it's been a very good performance by him. The closest battle on track is between Scanny and Charlie. So a few laps ago, Charlie came into the pit sorry, came into the pits on fresh soft tyres. I didn't actually think he'd be able to catch Scani Flick. Sorry, but Charlie has set in some rocking lap times of 30.8 he's just produced. Can he? No, he's too far back. So safe driving so far from the number 16. But he's using this fresh tyre as well. Scani not showing the pace that I would personally expect. Meanwhile, Charlie seems to be putting a lot of effort into practice this week, and that is really showing off as he goes around the outside of Scani. We've had some fantastic overtakes, and that's just another one to add to the bunch. We saw some great racing earlier on with Mako, with Sig, with so many others, and oh, well, I was going to say with Charlie from there, but goes off the track, and that allows Scani to now dive down the inside as we go towards the hairpin. There's just enough room, but no, Scani actually not going for it, sorry. So Charlie goes into 5th place. Further back, the closest action on track is between Pixtecker and Sig, and a little bit of mix-up I think with the indicators used, and Sig getting a bit held up here from the Jaguar. Goes to the inside now. Oh no, so I don't know if Pix is attempting to let Sig by, but Sig going almost off the track there. His hot lapping has deceased a little bit. 29.4 I think is going to be the fastest lap of the race. We've still got Scani on the back of Charlie Fraser. So Scani being very, very safe with Charlie, but he's just run off the track, and that is some time lost. And that might be the end of that potential battle for 5th place. That is a real shame there for Scani Flick. Our race leader is about to go on to the final lap of this race. Will he finally lap the Mexican? Sig really has timed these fuel calculations to the dot, I think. Having to make the overtake as if it's multi-class on Pixtecker. That ruins any chance of Sig beating his previous fastest lap. Mako, good performance. He'll be a little bit frustrated that he span out of the battle with Sig, but that is him in 2nd place. Alex Sinclair, close behind, and Natalie has been catching. He's in 3rd. Tyler, 4th place, very good result for him. Charlie Fraser in 5th, who is now clear of Scani Flick. Cyber, who's had a bit of a quiet second half of this race, in 7th. Sammy, he's been off at almost every corner, sometimes his fault, sometimes due to incidents with others. And then in 9th place is Pixtecker. So this has been the final race of the Rei Sportscar Championship, Season 2 starting soon, as I said earlier. And our season champion is being Sig Rezanico. He's also been the champion of the liveries, with some of the best liveries seen in these 8 rounds. Oh, bit loose. He's been the king of rear slides as well. Usually going well for him, but at the last round at Red Bull Ring, he lost control a lot, but here he is. He's flashing all of the lights possible. He is as happy as a, very happy person on a very happy day. Sig Rezanico goes the first. Pixtecker there, lap down in 9th place, but good all-round performance from both of them, honestly. Mako will come home in 2nd. It's been an up and down roller coaster for Mako over the season. He had the win at Tokyo, and he had some good results at Suzuka, but the first event that we had at Fuji, which was round 2, he was all over the place, but it is redemption for the Hungarian this time out. 3rd place is Alex Sinclair, yet another podium, but yet to find a win this season. 4th is Tyler. Superb racing so far this season. Sorry, superb racing this season overall. Charlie Fraser, another fantastic drive from him. Scani Flick in 6th. All 3 of those drivers just mentioned have had fantastic podium results. Cyberstrike will come home in 7th place. It's been a good final round by him. You might be a little bit disappointed with some of the contact, but he comes home ahead of Samios and Pixteca, and Samios here, it will be in an 8th place, so we will see you for the following season of the Rei Sportscar Championship, yet again in these Group 2 cars. And that has been me, Bradley, commentating, and we will see you in a few weeks.